So we just talked to ourselves for the last 10 minutes.
I mean, we were like in the deep conversation, what I really feel like about this homeschooling issue. Like,
well, maybe we just need to get into it. So, hey, everybody, welcome to Marriage Talk. We're going to be talking tonight about how do we survive our marriages in a pandemic. Everyone knows what's going on, so I guess we don't have to have a full-blown conversation about that. But what are we doing to kind of get through this time together? Mm-hmm. And when we were talking to ourselves just now, when the audio wasn't working, we were talking, like, just still weren't working at all. But we were talking about homeschooling and how we're adjusting to this new phase of life as a couple, as individuals, like kind of how we're doing. Do you all have social distance?
I tried to tell her, Darlene. Nah. See how you get distracted. Come on, tell them what we were talking about. We were talking about.
I'm working on my mouth and my face, so I'll let you talk.
Really?
What were we talking about?
We were talking about how's homeschooling going. That's what we were talking about.
I'll start, seeing that you started already, but nobody can hear you.
Yeah.
I am struggling. This is just a very transparent Vinzanna moment. Let Vinzanna just be. I'm struggling with homeschooling. I am very much an organized and structured person, and I like things to be. I kind of know what's happening, kind of know how to organize, and this does not give me the opportunity to do that because the school itself doesn't know what they're doing. You know what I mean? Like I can't help the children when I am a teacher, but I have been specifically called to teach adults. Like, I know that's been my calling. And I don't apologize whatsoever. But even as far as teaching the kids, I don't know. There's been a miscommunication. I can only speak for Jacksonville. There's been a miscommunication on what is expected. And I guess the frustrating part, I know we were all thrown into this, and no one has been through this before. No one knows what it's doing, but everybody has to have a plan. Right. And I don't feel like they had a plan. So it just, they just send and work home. And I'm like, well, excuse me, who's supposed to teach it? Mm-hmm. Excuse me. Like, are we supposed to be able to, so that's what I'm struggling with. But what I am enjoying about it, so that was the downside, right? And I don't want to talk too much about negativity. It's just how I felt or how I feel. But what I am enjoying about it, if anything, is the ability to see where the kids are at. We've always been involved in their school lives. We've always been involved in their work and stuff like that. Now you get a hands-on approach as to, can he or she focus?
Right.
And even like
my baby can focus. I don't know what y'all talking about.
Right. But can they really focus? For us,
my child can sit there for 8 hours
I've had to separate the kids. Like, one of the kids had to come with me, and then one of them had to go in the office because together they're not. Some days it's just not working, and I'm trying. And my goal is to get to heaven. So for me to get there, one of y'all gonna be in the office.
Yeah.
With me.
Yeah. And this is kind of crazy. So Crystal, you hit on a very good topic, right? You said transition to charter or private school. We have a schedule, like school with a lunch break, live Zoom lessons and everything, right? So Vinzanna, what kind of school are our kids in?
Crystal, they're in a charter school, and it's a mess. Oh, Heavenly Father.
We transitioned them.
They are not at a public school. The kids do go to charter school.
And we moved them from a public
school to charter. Right. And I have them on a schedule. Like, y'all know good and well.
Yeah.
Schedule queen over here. I got them on on the tightest schedule.
Right.
But like I said, the frustration is just with administration, and I've expressed it. It's just I can help, but I need your guidance as to what's the plan, what are we going to cover, and all the good stuff. But yeah, let's get off of this because I'm about to get upset. All right, this was talking about marriage, not homeschool.
But
that's a part of marriage.
Absolutely.
That's a part of marriage that we're struggling with. Also, let me throw Jonathan under the bus on live.
Well, while she's trying to do that, again, y'all tell us how y'all homeschooling adventures are going. But go ahead, throw me on the bus. Okay. I'm ready. Let me lay down.
So I find that the kids do a whole, they are on a whole different level when they are homeschooled with Jonathan versus me. Okay, so everybody knows, or if you don't know, you're just joining. I have an office. It's a private office. Nobody's allowed in here. There's a code, there's a key, all that good stuff. So we spend our time kind of making sure that, someone is home with the kids, someone's at the office, but whatnot. And when I'm at the office and I'm away from home and Jonathan is with the kids, y'all, Khalees is recording videos in the bathroom. What was she saying the other day? What was it? Kiki. Girl.
All I do is win no matter what. I'm in a meeting.
John is working hard, and they having a full YouTube video launch. Yeah. So that's
the other part. I think they also. So one of the things too is I think they realize that I'm probably on a phone call or in a meeting or in something like that. And they typically know if mommy's home, she's not teaching. So,
but even when they at the office with me, they don't do that foolishness.
I know. All I know is when I be on, if I hang up from a meeting, their door automatically opens. They come right out. But otherwise, they stay in their room. I don't hear from them. It's like they hear me on the phone or something. I don't know. But it is very interesting to see that, though, because when you are going, they also text you a lot. They also send you notes. They send you, and they don't really do anything else for me. But yeah, they're different. I mean,
all right, let's read some of the comments.
Yeah. So Nikki says homeschool parent for 4 years, which they would have just enrolled all the kids into free online. I agree. I think
they weren't prepared.
No,
the schools weren't prepared.
But even with not being prepared, so I had a conversation with someone from work today, from a company. I won't say the name of, but one of the things that we talked about is how we all transition as a company. So our company, we transition very well. Their company, they transition very well. But when we talked about, I work in insurance, and I don't know. A lot of insurance agencies, she said about 90% of the insurance agencies that she's been talking to, they still have their doors open because they were not prepared for the transition, like technology-wise and all that. So I'm starting to see a lot of schools, a lot of older businesses, a lot of people that have been in, this is the way we've always done it mentality. They're not going to change. They don't want to change. So what's ended up happening is now they're put in this position and they're not willing to change. And because they're not willing to change, they're getting beat up. Like some of our, that's an email today. I mean, it's just.
Let's talk of marriage. I can't.
But I do want to say this. It is very important, especially if you are husband and wife, it's very important for you to both have a realization of you are both still having to work. Your kids have now transitioned, so you're not just helping them with homework, but in some instances, you're possibly teaching them. So it's important to first take a look in the mirror at yourself and say, what else can I do? And then also take a look in the mirror at the next person to say, what else is she doing or what else is he doing? For us, we're not always around each other throughout the week because, again, like you said, we swap. I'm at the office or whatever. So it's really hard to say, well, what is she doing with the kids that I'm not doing? Or what is he doing with the kids that I'm not doing? What's the disconnect? But also still understanding that that person is still working. And for one thing, for me, I know when I had the office in Columbia, and I was a small business owner full time self-employed, and a lot of times we talked a lot about how do you juggle your time. You should have more time to do this. You should have more time to do that. But and one thing that Vinzanna is realizing, and she can talk about this, is it's like you have less time because it's so much to do and it's always something. And your mind is always thinking, what do I need to do next for my business to succeed? So there's a lot of time that we really don't have anymore. Although we may all be at home together and all that, it's too much. We're still trying to learn and trying to get to this point. So it's
I think
difficult.
it's also important that you keep those relationships with your friends, because, again, what's very different about this time is we're all going through this together. This is not a decision for,
Right.
you to send your child to homeschool or anything like that. We're all going through this together. And I think it's just important to share resources, to encourage each other. Nikki is a great resource, especially for this, because they made the decision to go to homeschool before the pandemic. Okay, so if anyone can relate to just being around their kids all the time, that particular family can. We can't. Right? So when this is over, I plan to walk on water and carry the kids to my mommy. Or I will reach to South Carolina in 90 minutes so they can go to Miss Sandra. A sister's tired. But I think it's important to also be patient with the kids. Like I'm telling myself that this is a transition for them too. So just being patient and just being understanding and depending on your spouse.
Yes.
I put myself in timeout, and I need you to kind of step in.
And you have to read and react. Like if you see something that's going on, like I think one of the biggest things that couples can make an error on, that we have to find a way to get back at and fix, is we automatically think, oh man, they're already frustrated. So if I see you get upset, I just can't be like, oh, she's already frustrated, just do nothing about it. I still have to read and react. I read that you are frustrated or whatever and react on it. Just don't let that person deal with, like, if I see that the kids are now making her frustrated and they should have did whatever, now it's time for me to step in and do what I have to do. And not just say, well, she's already at that point, let her just finish with it. No, you can't do that.
You see those comments? I don't know how to work the computer.
Oh, excuse me.
It does feel, put that one up. Like, how many of you feel like you have less time now that you're home?
Absolutely.
Can I like that myself? Like we wake up and it's 11:50 p.m. and we still need to watch at least one show. Like
it's like this. It's like, listen.
Like
the day ain't complete. We got to watch something. Listen. We done went through all this. We need a good meal and a good show
and watch something. But yeah, I think it's just important to be there for each other. All right, let's talk about. The time is already going really quickly. Let's talk about what we came here to talk about. How do we deal with our marriages, man and woman? How do we bump the kids, throw the kids away? Don't throw the kids away.
Don't do that.
Don't do that. Right, we can't actually do that.
Well, for real though, how are y'all? Really?
So,
how are y'all still dating out there? Are y'all still finding ways to?
How's marriage going in the pandemic? How can you find a way to enjoy your spouse when you are with them all of the time?
Yeah.
Someone asked me this question I think like 2 weeks ago when this all first started. And everybody had these ideas of playing checkers and chess and, doing this and that. And my response, I think, through that particular group off of WAC. And my response was, how do you keep your marriage kind of going? My response was to separate as much as possible. Okay? If your marriage is used to being a certain way, Jonathan and I do not work together. Even when we first moved to Jackson, we were in the same house working at the same time. His office was on one side of the house.
Mhm.
My office was on the other side. So our marriage is used to separation during the day. I don't want to see you for 8 hours all day.
Mhm.
That's not going to, and this is just me. Jonathan might feel different, right? But that's just me. I don't wanna see you. So my recommendation, if it's possible, for you to find some separation. Now I know that you may be like, well, I live in a small house, is that you could just go in another room. But in order for me to enjoy you, in order for me to want to spend more time with you, I have to miss you. And I can't miss you if I'm in your neck for 24 hours a day.
Yeah.
So for me, that's one of the ways that I make sure that, I have my time. I have my time for me. I have my time to talk on the phone. I have my time to text. I have my time, even if we're still in the same house, and then kind of regroup.
But that's big. That's major. I feel like that's major because you have to have separation time. And one of the things like I said, when we worked together or whatever, when we first moved to Jacksonville, we was on two separate sides of the house. We were like two. It was just away from each other. And for the couples out there that you are still in the same house, find ways to give yourself space. Even if you're both working from home, find ways to give yourself space. Somebody work in the bedroom one day, somebody work in the kitchen table one day if you don't have a dedicated office. And it's fine. I think people feel like sometimes like if you're working from home, then you have a dedicated office and you have this privilege.
We don't have a dedicated office anymore.
Like literally if I go on a Zoom meeting, am I at work and I'm working at the house, you're gonna see that refrigerator in the back. It just is what it is. And we are a little at this point now where we don't really care what people think. We are, opinions don't pay bills. That's just, they don't.
Opinions ain't gonna get through the gate.
They don't pay mortgages, they don't pay rent.
But we gotta, at the end of the day, when all of this is over, at the end of the day, when we go to bed at night, who are we next to?
Yep, our spouses.
You're next to your spouse. So are you gonna allow the situation to kind of like get you frustrated and you don't want to spend time with your spouse because we're in a pandemic?
Yeah.
We gotta make sure, we're doing what we can. We got a comment though. I can't wear my glasses because of the light, but I can't see without them.
Oh, okay. So Nikki says, now I work full time and my husband is the one with the kids all day and does great with them. My advice I give to married couples is when kids go to bed, make a point, dress up, have a lockdown date. Dress up. Okay. You have to do it for the sake of your marriage. Dress up.
What do you think about dressing up?
I know.
Oh, wait. We can lock it down. I ain't finna dress up. I'm trying to figure out where I washed this week. I washed laundry, and it was 18 baskets of clothes. We ain't been nowhere for the last month. So where is all of this coming? But I love that idea after the kids go to bed, and that's something else. Keep these kids on a bed schedule.
Absolutely.
Our kids have been going to bed at 8 o'clock.
Absolutely.
Like, because you need that time, like with everything that's going on, to just make sure that y'all two have time. So 8 o'clock, and what night was it? We were talking to Alex, and he was like, our niece goes to bed at 8:30. I'm like, don't be bringing that negativity into our house. 8 o'clock around, I know that's going to soon have to change because Jay's getting older and all that good stuff, but keep them on a bedtime, keep them on a schedule, so that you can have that time. Absolutely. For each other.
Absolutely. I think it's very important. Like, you have to keep your kids on a time schedule. It's important. I mean, what if in 3 weeks school picks back up, and don't let them live on the summer schedule, because it's not summer yet.
It's not. Laundry every day? No, I'm not built like that.
Wait a minute.
Okay. Not every day. I can't. Nikki.
Don't.
We do laundry, okay, and watch somebody is going to be judgmental about this statement, but you can judge me, it's fine. We do laundry.
What y'all watching? Every
2 weeks.
Yeah.
Y'all better have enough of whatever to last for 2 weeks. Yes.
Yeah. That's wow. Every day.
Take my friend comment off of the thing. You ain't gonna blast her like that.
You're not gonna do this. Not on live.
Question for you guys. All right. What exactly are you doing? So we had a great idea of kind of locking down and making sure that you have time for each other. That couple even wants to dress up. Yes, I ain't mad at you.
I mean, you know what?
I ain't mad at you.
I mean, you can definitely dress up. Yeah, and I'll just say this.
So what date you got for us?
Listen, like you fix yourself. Like you just doing MO. Let me use the words are spelled up there. It's just I think one of the things that when you get married, you don't really get to see this a lot unless you just like live in a crazy house. But when you get married, you don't really get to see when you are dressing up, and you don't get that wow factor from your spouse as much as you want. And when I say wow factor, I mean you spend
y'all know
you spend all your time getting dressed, putting on your makeup, doing whatever, and then boom, when you see that person for the first time after they've gotten dressed, it's like, wow. When you're married, you're watching them getting dressed. So you're like seeing them go through this entire process. So a lot of times, like you're sharing the same mirror, you're sharing this, like you see them through this process. So the wow factor is not as large as it was when you showed up and you went to go pick her up and she came walking out there and you were like, okay.
Okay, I got a suggestion for that.
You know?
Go outside, open the door, and pick me up. And that's I understand what you're saying though. That makes sense.
That's what I went by the wow factor. Yeah. I'm not saying that there is no wow. I'm just saying it's different. It's different levels to it. Because when you were dating, you like, yeah, you pull up to the house and she come out, she already dressed, or he come out, or whatever, however it is. Y'all do that these days? I don't know. You know, that's how they do now. I mean, women go out and go pick guys up now.
I thought you were talking about something totally different. I'm like,
no, I'm just saying that's how.
No, I think
you know, they got people that's, you know, women out here getting on one knee and all that, you know. So, you know, I don't know. But I think that's one thing that we should really try to do. I think we found a way of doing it. I think, I don't know, maybe one of us get dressed in the kids' bathroom, and while the other one get dressed like, I don't know.
You mean now through the pandemic?
Not now, like during the pandemic, but just in general. During the pandemic now, or either later on. I think it's just.
That's a good idea, though. Yeah. Did you know sometimes, ladies, let's be real, you want to be cute, you got to wear some of those garments underneath to kind of.
You done seen all that.
Tighten it on up and put it.
You just ain't seen it. You helped put it on. You hear me? You was there. Hold on. I got you. Hold on. You
suck your stomach in.
Just being real. I mean, it is what it is. You know, you're like, all right, cool. And then, you know, you help put it on, you help pick it out. I don't like them shoes. Okay, get them shoes. But they don't do this for me. All right, cool. We're gonna do this one then. This is gonna be. So if you that wow factor, you know what I mean? I just think, yeah, I'll be quiet, Nikki.
We do. We got to be creative, though, guys. Our marriages are depending on it. Our marriages were depending on it before the pandemic. So, right? What about now? What else can we do? So, what other ideas are you guys doing?
Yeah. What else are y'all doing other than the wow factor and people sitting out in the car, like Nikki said? Go sit out in the car and wait.
She's throwing a virtual shoe
Really?
at you. Oh my gosh.
Okay.
You're gonna keep sharing my friend's stuff now. You ain't gonna put her under the bus.
You know.
You ain't gonna put her under the bus. All right.
So I'm curious. What are you guys doing to spice it up during this pandemic, and not outside of the pandemic? Like, what else are y'all doing? Like, I have a question. What is one thing you're waiting for to do with your spouse?
Oh, that's
What's one thing
question.
you're waiting for to do with or for your spouse when this is all over and we can now go outside and play? Like, what else? What are you excited about doing for your boss?
What you excited about doing? I tell you one thing I would want to do.
Okay.
I would when
Oh, make sure y'all liking and sharing this. Like, share. Go ahead. Oh, Britt, Dr. B. You are Dr. B. Dr. B.
That is not fun. I'm not laughing at you. It was.
All right, y'all want to go to Africa? I love that. I love that.
Oh my
We
God.
want to go to Africa too.
That's one thing that I want to do. A couple years ago, I was able to go and went to this country in Africa called Zimbabwe.
Yeah.
And I really want to be able to carry my family there. The child, that was a work trip. Them tickets was $2,200
Yeah.
pop.
She was like, "You can go too. All you got to do is just pay the airfare." How much is the airfare? I'm like $2,800. Oh, I'm good. Me and the kids gonna be straight. I'm gonna call my mama. She gonna come live with us for 3 weeks.
But that would be amazing. That you ain't want to go to who this is Tony. You ain't want to go to dinner or nothing.
You go straight to Africa.
Listen, you just leaving.
I don't blame you. I'm going out of state. You hear me?
Okay. There we go. I like Tony. Tony said, "Bump going to Olive Garden. We is going to Africa after the pandemic."
Yeah.
Okay, I love it.
You said you want some Ethiopian food? We're going to get it authentic. You hear me?
You need some shea butter. Come on.
Right. You said shea butter. You said you need it from the stove. Come on. I got to go with you to go get the shea butter. Yeah, you got to come too and pack a bag. You know what I mean? Like
Listen, I can't see y'all. This is too funny.
Yeah, I'm with you. Let's go to Africa. Let's go.
We had a movie night. Went to the concession stand kitchen and watched Bad Boys 3. I love that. That'll be cool to set that up. So movie night. We got to find something else. Me and John have like shows that we watch together, and it's every night.
Yeah, we do. Yeah, we do. Yeah.
And we eat.
But the thing is, like, so right now.
But that's our time, though.
Yeah, it is. So, but like right now, where we live right now, we live in a smaller space. We live in a small apartment, right? So when having the kids there and live, like it's certain shows that we have to go in our room to watch.
What kind of shows, Pastor?
Give me your hand. Just use cut up when you want to. But for real though, like we can't really use cut up. We can't really like watch like we're gonna watch How to Get Away with Murder. Like we can't put that on at 8 o'clock and go watch that out there in the living room with our kids right there and can hear everything that's happening. It's a certain thing like we was watching Power. Can't watch Power exactly when it come on.
Okay, let's not make shows. Okay.
I'm just saying.
All right, so movie night. One of the things I want to do, I know this is going to be very weird. One of the things I want to do after the pandemic is I want us to go skating. Okay. But I want to go like on like a Tuesday night.
Oh, you got to save them coins though.
No, when it's a school night, because I can't skate. And I don't want to go like when a bunch of people there. But I think that would be so cool. I don't think
like roll bounce.
Can you skate?
I skate a little bit. I can do a little something.
You can't skate.
The red lane back in the day.
I ain't never seen me and Jonathan been together from when we met, 2003.
I mean, but skating rings are like going out of style then though.
Never seen him skate. Now he's talking about he could do the roller bounce.
No, I ain't exactly do roll bounce. Like, come on, cut it up. Now I know how to put skates on, and I know how to get a little coast going. That's about it.
That's
I can't
one
do
thing.
the whole dance and have DJ and all that.
I would love to do go skating, just a different date night other than dinner and a movie. Like that's kind of like getting a little bit old. But I need to go something.
Yeah, I want to do something different too. I mean, I think that would be good. I want to go and do what was our anniversary that we did a boat. Your birthday, your 30th birthday.
Yeah.
We did a boat dinner cruise
That was pretty cool.
in Charleston. That was pretty cool. So I wouldn't mind doing something like that once this is all over. Like just to get out and do something different. It's just like, yeah. So listen, make sure y'all doing that. The other thing I want to say, and we didn't even have this like scripted to do, but I think the other thing, and we have been talking about this a lot, is find ways to handle your finances. Like find ways to, like, whatever way you're, like, there are a lot of resources out there. I follow Dave Ramsey and Anthony O'Neill. They are tremendous in giving tips on what you can do if your income has been reduced, if your income is staying the same, some options that are out there. Everyone pretty much know that I work in the insurance field, so there are a lot of insurance companies out there that are giving premium back. Some companies are just issuing a one-time payment of like $50, or some of these people are giving 15-20% of your rate back. Like, go out there and take this time to get ahead. Like, take this time to get ahead as a family. Like, sit down together and say, this is what we are getting coming in. This stimulus check about to hit. This is what we plan to do with it. And try to be good stewards of it. Like, don't just have to go out there and just like blow it all. Like, be
You're
good
not
stewards
going to
with it.
city trends.
Yeah.
Like, we are past that point in our lives.
Right.
But we have to do, whether it's fun things, whether it's financial things, we need to kind of do things that will make sure that our marriage will survive the pandemic. You know what I mean? Like, we will come out better on the other side of this. One of the things that I've been like preaching, I feel like, over on the professional side is it's okay to develop yourself during a crisis. Like, it's okay. I don't know about you, but that's the way that I keep my energy kind of going. I remember when I was going through chemo and radiation, I went through grad school. I was doing my master's of science in management. And when I didn't have people coming to chemo with me, I would have my books, my computer, and I went through my program while I had an IV in my chest, right? Pouring poison in my body. This is something that we can't control. This is something that we don't know when it's going to end. Yes, we have faith in God. God will carry us through, but he also gave us a mindset to, let's be smart about it. What can you do for your marriage? Yes, this is marriage talk. What can you do to make sure your marriage is good? But I want you to ask yourself this question. What can I do to make sure I'm good?
And one of the biggest things, I think this is a big misconception, is they feel like marriage, like, especially for people that are single or people that are just going through rough times in their marriage, they feel like, you know, their marriage, they need to strengthen their marriage, strengthen relationships. But your marriage is only going to be as strong as you are. If you are not together, if you are not where you need to be, your marriage is gonna almost crumble.
I've met so many people that's supposed to have like a beautiful marriage, technically, you know, just by looking at them. But because that individual is a mess, that individual personally is like just not all over the place, that their marriage suffers. How can I build? Can you stop shaking?
I mean, you was going like in a very good direction. I mean, you just was like,
he got the whole table and chair over here shaking, and then somebody gonna text me about my face, and I feel like we're in a mini earthquake during the live. What was I saying?
I don't remember. Throw me under the bus again.
I forgot, but yeah, how can I be a good wife?
Right? You have to deal with yourself.
If I'm not a good Vinzanna. And so many times we forget about us. And I'm not saying go and do and accomplish this, that, and the third, but whatever you need to do, whatever you need to do to become a better you, I think that is the key ingredient to surviving your marriage in the pandemic. We're working on being a better you, a happier you that you can bring to the table to your spouse. Oh, that was good. I need to remember.
You literally about to type this in your phone?
Work on a better you so that you can be a better team.
Mess.
Right? Like, ain't that
Mess. No, but for real, I think
that's
when
good?
it's no, you're spot on. Spot on. Like again, like I said, you're only as good as your marriage gonna be as good as you are individually. If you're a mess individually, y'all gonna struggle. It's
Yeah.
gonna be struggling, and you're gonna and one of the issues is people try to find ways to blame other people for their own mistakes. And like just deal with yourself. Take this time to deal with yourself. Find ways to help yourself financially, and then also find ways to help yourself um, as an individual and professionally. One of the things that you
Spiritually.
did, and spiritually too, one of the things that you did was you got a certification, like during this time. Like we haven't been in the pandemic that long, but you literally said what you were saying. You went out and got your certification. So take those time. I mean, is this something that you've been wanting to do? If it's been a license that you've been looking to obtain or a certification or whatever, take this time to get it.
And some people had some backlash on this statement, right? But also understand that nobody's saying go out there and be Superman or Superwoman.
No.
If you need to take time to sleep,
Yeah. If that's what it takes
if that's
to better
what it
you,
takes to better you, if you have been working 23 hours a day
exactly.
and you don't ever sleep, and you use this time to do whatever you need to do for you,
Absolutely.
it can be a good team. I'm telling you.
Yeah.
I'm so telling you. And use this time to shift your focus on God,
hmm
because I'll admit this as we close. Anxiety
hmm
is a beast. Okay. And yes, we have faith in God, and I believe that God will carry us through. I am not doubting that with any fiber of my being, but I am also human. And there are times when anxiety creeps up. I was telling Jonathan the day I was teaching, and in my break, I had a pain in my chest. Like it was like straight in the middle of my chest. And I had no idea what it was, right? And I don't know, I just didn't know what it was. And later on today, I said, I think that was just anxiety. I was thinking about, for a moment,
hmm
I'm self employed,
hmm hmm
right? That
hmm
That's the end.
Right.
That's it. That's all I have to say. Right? So we not over here just that's not the dance is happening right now. Okay? But for a moment I was like, God, like what is happening? This is what you told me. This is what you directed me. I fasted and prayed for this. You gave it to me, and I
hmm
asked you if it was not in your will to block it. I asked
hmm
you to block it. You didn't block it. So what I got out of that, okay, is this is a part of your will
hmm
for my life, for
Right.
our life.
hmm
But there are going to be times when that anxiety is going to creep
hmm
in. But it's not that the anxiety is creeping in. I think it's having the ability to use the word to say, remind yourself, I came right out here, right?
hmm
And that's scripture. I don't know the plans, but he has plans for me, plans that I will prosper.
hmm
Come on. I feel like I'm getting. Okay, I'm sweating. I'm ready to take my sweat off. So
No, I mean you hit on
I'm
it. I think the
just
biggest thing is you have to understand is before you can ever get into this position to where you are really starting to see your success, you're going to see backlash. I mean, just think about it. God spoke to Moses and said, "Go out there, go tell Pharaoh, let my people go." You're going, go tell him. Just go tell him, let my people go. All right, cool. He done gave you this big vision and what you're going to do, and let my people go. But then he told him and said, look, when you go out there, he's gonna say no. So he go out there. So wait a minute, why do you keep telling me to go up here and he's gonna say no? So all right. So boom. What happens? Then you have all these plagues that happen. Why
right.
you just ain't let them go, God? So a lot of times we look at ourselves and we're like, man, God really gave me a vision. But then with that vision came issues. With that vision came plagues. With that vision came other things that were totally out of my control that I was just okay, wherever. At one point, Israelites, when they were out in the wilderness, like, Moses, you could have left us over at Pharaoh for all this.
That's
It's
what they
like,
say.
and that's the thing, like we have to get to this point now that we've been free, now that we've been given what God has blessed us with, and now we're out. I think one of the biggest things to make sure we realize is that, you know, just like back then, you're going to have these tribulations, you're going to have all these trials, you're going to have all these things that's going to happen, and you have to remember, I'm in this position because I know that God is really, really pushing me from out of the norm to push me into extraordinary. And I think the sooner we grasp that, it makes it a little lighter. But I think that's one of the biggest issues that we all face at times. We often think about what is going on. Why am I in this position? Why am
Come
I
on. He never
struggling
said
right
it was
now?
going to be easy.
No, he never did. He never said it was going to be easy. He just said he was going to do it. He didn't say it was going to be a walk in the park. He never said it was going to be a skate in the park. He says, I'm going to do it. And we have to latch on to that word. So again,
How did we get to
I don't know how we got
I
there.
feel so emotional. Heavenly Father.
No, but again, I want you guys to
But there's a
really,
heavy weight. I mean, it's so
and
heavy.
even now, because with the pandemic is happening now, because everybody still had life, everybody still had all these things going on. Everybody still had, some people still had financial issues before this crisis. Some people had health issues before COVID-19. Some people had all these things that were happening. Even now, I'm starting to see where people are still passing away because like death doesn't stop because there's a pandemic. People are still dying. People are still doing all kinds of stuff. So it's important. It's important that you understand that all this is part of the process. All this is part of the plan. All this is part of everything that you have to go through in terms of life. And just keep God first. I mean, that's the biggest thing. That's the biggest advice I give anybody. It's like you keep Him first, and you'll be fine. You're definitely gonna go through something. Just don't think just because you keep God first, everything will be smooth. If you're thinking that, then just throw that out the window. Just
That's not how it works. But you have to remind yourself. There has to be a constant reminder that He didn't bring us this far just to leave us.
Yep.
He really didn't. And like, bruh, encourage your own self.
Right.
I can't wait on Jonathan to encourage me as a friend, as a husband, as a pastor, as none of that. I can't depend on him to do that. I have had to learn to look in the mirror and talk to myself and have my own conversation with God. And I'm like, I need you for Vinzanna right now.
Yep.
And it just goes back to you can't be a good team
No.
if you ain't all right.
No.
And this is on all levels.
No.
So we ending with that. Say
yeah, we got to end. We got to get up out of here. But I want to say, first of all, thank you guys for spending some time with us, talking with us. You all gave us some ideas of what we can do.
Yeah. Child, I can't wait to see Jonathan dressed up for our date.
Sitting in the car waiting on her to get finished.
Mm-hmm.
How
right there in the car.
Don't call me to come help you put on nothing. How about that? Now you said you want me to sit outside, right? You want me to sit outside?
No, come here.
No. I already know what you're about to say. But guys, for real though.
Just because this is public property, right? And just because people use Facebook Lives to haunt you for the rest of your life, I ain't gonna go in.
That's right.
But I got something. Soon as we press this end live, I got something for you.
But guys, thank you guys. We're going to end, but before we end, there's a lot going on. There's pandemic and everything everywhere. So real quick, pray for everybody here before we leave, and for ourselves. Let's keep ourselves covered, right? We have to keep that first, right? All right, dear God, we thank you. We thank you for allowing us to be here in this place, in this space, even if we are online. God, I'm asking that you continue to bless everyone that's on this live. Bless their families, bless everything around them, bless their finances, bless their knowledge. Whatever it is that they need, God, I ask that you supply it today, this week, this month, but give them the courage to be able to understand that you are still God in the midst of their waiting. God, I thank you for all that you're going to do for us throughout this time, and give us another level of peace, another level of strength, and another level of anointing as we go through. We thank you in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen.
Y'all be good out there.